Hello, everybody, and welcome to Councillors Corner. This Councillor Corner is intended to inform residents of Oyen and other viewers about topics and things happening in town to hopefully avoid any miscommunication about topics. So today I'm joined by Councillor Ed Hogan. Welcome.
Wow.
And Ed so nicely volunteered to be my councillor this week. We're going to be talking about which would have been the January council meeting, but was just held here in February.
Right.
And we're just going to very quickly talk about Ed. You guys can get to know him a little bit, and then we're going to go into the topics and some of the main stuff that's been happening around town. So firstly, Ed, how long have you been a councillor for the town of Oyen?
This is my second term, so I've been 5.5 years roughly. Yep.
Wonderful.
5.5 years, yep.
Awesome, that's great. And so what was it that made you want to be a councillor for the town of Oyen?
I just thought I could come be a town councillor and set the world afire, but it didn't quite turn out that way. With all the municipal laws and it makes it very tough. You just can't do things because you think they should be done that way. You have to be very careful how you do things.
Yeah.
And also the money situation, you don't realize how much things cost. And the town only has one access to money, and that's through taxes. And they get some grants, granted, but it costs a lot of money. So it doesn't matter what you want to do. I hear lots of complaints about the streets and all that, and I have replied to some of them on Oyen Rant and Rave. I said, if you got a method of learning how we can raise some big money for the town, I said, let me know, because I'll back you all the way. But it does. It costs a lot of money nowadays, and that's the kind of reason I got on council. Was I thought those things were relatively simple,
right.
But it's not that way.
No.
Trust me. And anybody thinks it is, run for council, because that's how you learn.
Yeah.
It's not that simple.
No, it's not that simple. That's very true.
We can all sit out on the background in the car and say, oh, they just should do this, do that. But, we all think that, but it doesn't happen that way.
No, exactly. Not the way it actually goes. But
exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So actually all the councillors are appointed on different boards, committees, and commissions. So which ones do you represent for the town of Oyen?
I do the Marigold Library for the town of Oyen. That's
Right.
based out of Strathmore. There's, I don't know how many libraries there is, but they have about I think 1.3 or 1.7 million books. They have access. They come to Oyen. They bring books to Oyen Library.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm on the Oyen Public Library Board here.
Yeah. And
I'm on the Palliser planning thing here for Oyen. I was on a few other boards, but I give them up. I really enjoy the ones I'm on. I really do. It's just maybe I guess, as I said to Nancy, I should have maybe went for some other ones, but everybody else, when you get on the board and you feel comfortable,
yeah.
It's hard to bump somebody else off because they might enjoy it too. So no, I really enjoy the ones I'm on. It's not a lot, but like I said, I was on the golf course. I was on I think I was on the personnel one. I was on another one, but I just got off it because everybody needs to do something. So
yeah,
the ones that I am on, I'm happy with them. So
that's great. It's good that you enjoy it.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, and thank you so much for your time on those.
It's not that I read a lot of books. I read some books, but I don't read a lot. So maybe I'm not the right guy for the library.
Oh, that's okay.
That's okay. That's going to have to be.
Oh, perfect. No, thanks for letting us know everything about you. And now we're going to quickly discuss the council meeting that we last had. So from the council meeting, what would you say was the general main topic of discussion?
Well, there was a few, but the one that I was excited the most about was the information that the town of Oyen is finally going to tear down the old hotel.
Yes.
Well, the town has entered into an agreement with Bortrack, and it should happen. I imagine it'll happen as soon as the weather warms up. So I'm really excited about that. That was one of the reasons I kind of got on council, because I thought that should have been torn down before, but it costs a lot of money, and every year that we seem to wait, it seems to go up $25,000-$30,000. So it's still going to cost a lot of money, but we have the money and it's budgeted for it. So it's a go. So I'm really excited about that, and I think as the whole town will be.
Yes, that'll be a big
because that really is an eyesore. It doesn't matter who drives into town; they can't, and we're tearing it all down. It's not just the restaurant part. The whole place is going to be torn down, which is good, and maybe somebody will buy that lot someday.
Yeah,
who
exactly.
knows?
Yeah.
Not going to buy it the way it is, that's
No.
for sure. So
No.
I was really excited about that, and I think a lot of the councillors were, and we knew Debbie had mentioned it last year that it was in the budget to be tore down,
Right.
and I think it's just great.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
I always thought it was in the budget before, but it never made it. But now it is going to get done. So
Now it's a go.
pretty excited about that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay, so next we're going to talk on January 10th. Alberta Health Services announced that our Big Country Hospital was going to be in a temporary closure of our emergency department and our acute care from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Later, they had announced that they would do a open house to discuss this all at the Oyen Legion. And for those who were unable to make it that night, or for those who haven't been following the situation or kind of know what's going on, can you just talk a little bit about the situation and specifically that event that AHS held, how it all went, kind of where we are now?
I was at the meeting, at a great turnout. I heard 500 people. I probably didn't know 10% of them. So, but Oyen covers a huge area. I thought Alberta Health Services had neglected their part pretty bad. I don't know if you could get much worse. And like I was telling Nancy, my daughter's an RN at the Rocky View Hospital in Calgary, and she said, when I told her, I think Alberta Health Services crapped the bed. Now they want the nurses to clean it up. And the sad part is, we got great nurses here. Trust me, we do. I mean, and you don't become an RN or an LPN because you're dumb. I mean, my daughter she had to have an 85 average to be an RN. So I feel bad. I know a couple nurses that one has 2 boys, another one has 2 girls, and the lady they're just fabulous nurses. And the ones with the 2 boys, she said she's got her life. She's doing some home care now, and she feels really bad. But she said, if I go back to work full time, work a 12-hour shift, she said, with my husband being busy, I'll have to get a nanny. And my wife just said to her, you can't take all the responsibility for this because it's not all your fault. It's not your fault. Period.
Your fault. Yeah.
And the other lady's she's got 2 girls. She had problems with what was happening before. She wound up quitting, drove to Hannah to be a nurse. Now she's doing home care. She goes up towards Concert area, and with the information that I got from talking to her, she feels bad too, but I think she's got her life straightened out. Not that you didn't have it straightened out before, but I mean, to make it workable with the two young girls, that I just find it hard to believe that she's going to come back. And I hope and I pray that this thing does come to a conclusion and it's all in our favor, because if we happen to, like I say, we've lost the acute for 7 at night till 7 in the morning. If we lose it in the daytime, I can see it just be a matter of time, and the doctors will be gone and our hospital will be closed. Because I'm sure any doctor who has a patient here and they happen to lose it because of something this drastic happening, that they're going to feel pretty bad and they're going to feel like they're responsible. So the solution is, I don't know if you can get nurses in, just come temporary to keep us going, but we need nurses to come here and stay here.
Yeah.
That's what we need. We don't, we need the ones to come just to get us on the right track again too, but man, we need some nurses here to stay here. That's what we need.
Yeah.
And if we don't get them, I'm not saying nurses won't come temporary, but how long is that going to happen?
Yeah.
Are we going to do this for the next 50 years? That ain't going to happen, because when you're out in rural Alberta, it doesn't. I'm not talking just any rural area. Young people nowadays, they want a Costco, they want a Walmart, so there's more action in the city than there is in these little towns.
Yes, this kind of life is not for everybody.
No, this is not for everybody. So you have to fall in love with the country. If you don't like the country, then it ain't for you.
No.
So
no. Yes. No. Let's hope that we can come to a solution and nothing.
Yeah, and the thing is, I don't know who read those letters or messages that the nurses sent. Maybe nobody did. I don't know. Well, if somebody did, they didn't take heed to it anyway, because this situation should have never happened. In my opinion, it shouldn't have, because we had the nurses. The nurses only quit because of one reason. everybody pretty well knows the reason. So if that doesn't get rectified, well, and the thing is, I personally think they need to hire a director that's maybe in the area. I don't know maybe if that's possible or not. I don't really know. But we need to have somebody that kind of knows what's happening in all these little rural areas. We just can't. I think we get too many decisions made in the urban areas for rural Alberta, and I just don't think that works.
And there's lots of damage that needs to be repaired, and some, relationships, all sorts of things.
I think that's the biggest thing is to get those, is to mend those relationships. If you can't mend them, wow, it's not a good scene.
No, it's not. So we'll hopefully get some more updates.
Well,
on that
exactly
situation
right.
soon
Like I said,
here.
we definitely need some help. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And this is, one of the main issues facing our town today is the Big Country Hospital closure and our nurses shortage. But we will be talking about this topic and lots of other topics and different opportunities that Oyen can pursue in the future here. And all this stuff is going to be discussed openly at our next strategic planning session. And that takes place Thursday, February 16th. And we're having it over at the FCSS Center on Main Street at 7:00 p.m.
Right.
So whether you're a rural citizen or you live in town, business owners, we want just anyone and everyone to show up, come share your, concerns, any opportunities you see. Yes, we're all here and we want Oyen to have a bright future. We do all have to work together, share our resources, share our knowledge. It's time we all come together. So we will be having that event.
And no idea is a bad idea.
Exactly.
Got to get going.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. Okay, but so lastly, we will talk about the town of Oyen that went on a boil water advisory. Now, would you please just share with our viewers why we had to go on a boil water advisory and kind of what happened there?
Okay, what happened there with the boil water, we had a frost build up on our power lines. We had probably frost for 5 days, 6 days, and the power lines went down and the power went out, and our generator that runs it's our backup generator for the town quit. So consequently there was no pressure in the water lines, and when there's no pressure in the water lines to keep the water flowing properly, they take a precautionary thing just in case some sediment or something falls off, and it does some damage to the water. So the water had to be set away get tested twice. Apparently we went to Medicine Hat one time to get tested, and then the next time it got sent to Calgary, which we do that for public safety. That's not saying we necessarily needed it, but for public safety, you have to do those things. And like I said, when we had no water pressure, it throws the town. Well, it's actually pretty dangerous when you got no water pressure, because like I was telling Nancy, if we would have had a fire in town, we had no water pressure. It was not a good scene.
No, that would.
And the water advisory is, like I said, it's just for public safety. It's for my safety, everybody's safety.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what happened with the water advisory.
Yeah.
Our generator went down, and that's our backup generator, and that's what we have, and and we were lucky that we had somebody local that come in and got it fixed. We have a new foreman, and he was pretty excited because he's only been on the job for 6 months, and you got to give him full credit. So we were lucky. We knew some.
He's had quite the go here.
We knew some right people, and they come and got us on the right track and got it going again. So we were very lucky. So, but it could have been worse, but it could have been better too. So when things break down, you got no control.
It happens for sure.
It happens.
Yeah, and we also do want to thank Westview Co-op and Home Hardware for donating the water that you guys donated throughout the boil water advisory. It was greatly appreciated by businesses and residents. It was so nice to see people come together for that. We had lots of random volunteers in town come help us unload water, load water. Right. So it was so wonderful to see. It was it was kind of nice, even though we were in a boil water advisory.
Yeah, exactly. But they got good participation from some of the businesses, which was really good.
It was wonderful to see. So thank you to everyone who did help. Everyone really appreciates it. Yeah. So that's all we need to discuss today, Ed.
Okay, thank goodness.
You. Yes. So thank you so much for your time.
Oh, you're welcome.
And thanks everyone for watching, and you can tune into the next Councillors Corner after our next council meeting.
Oh,
great. So luck. Have a good day, Oyen.
Catch you later.
See ya.